Hey everybody, Dan Henry here, and I'm with Shayna Kamen. And Shayna is going to talk today about how she sold $34,000 of her coaching offer, her coaching program, in just 2 weeks. How you doing, Shayna?
Super grateful.
Super
grateful to be here.
Awesome, cool. So listen, I want to get into it, but let's just give sort of a summary of what happened here. I know that you joined our program, and you were actually in it for a bit of time, and I was trying to convince you to raise your prices, and we didn't do that for a while, but eventually you dove in, you raised your prices, and now we have a spike in sales and revenue for you. So just so we're clear, since you've raised your prices and since we've done the high ticket model, you've done 34,000 in 2 weeks. You still have another 2 weeks left in the month. So that's on track for a $70,000 month, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Is that hard to, is that weird to think about? Like,
It's super weird. Every time my husband is like, the track that you're on, I'm just like, stop. I just have to focus. Don't freak me out. But yes.
That's okay. It's all right. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions. First of all, what was, you have you're a coach and you teach women how to lose weight through balancing their hormones, correct?
Correct.
Got it. And so I know you have an amazing program, which is why I encouraged you to raise your prices. But what was the big problem you had with your business before you joined our program?
The big problem that I had was that I felt, number one, that I was the bottleneck. I couldn't, there's a couple things. In the very beginning, I was having trouble just getting clients. I didn't know how to get myself more known and get the value clear for people. And then I had too many clients and then had so many people they were trying to book, I wouldn't have an opening for months in advance. And so until I changed the model and made it high ticket, I really was not able to help nearly as many people as, the way they needed.
Right. So when you say you had too many clients, you mean that you were selling for a low price and you were doing one-on-one and that was bottlenecking you, and then you raised your prices, you did it group. And as we talked about, didn't you find that people got the same or better results in a group format than they did in a one-on-one?
Totally. It's better for them because they actually, instead of just having my influence, they have that whole support system. I feel like it's like a scaffolding of support instead of just the information and just my encouragement. They have a whole group of like-minded women who are coming at it from a really wholesome and healthy perspective, which is really I think very unusual in the health and weight loss world, especially, to be coming at it from a holistic and a wholesome perspective. That's also very effective. It's not just kumbaya. It's very, taking care of both the emotional and physical side of it, and the group help facilitates that because there's a sense of community instead of doing it alone.
Right. Yeah. I noticed that a long time ago in my business that, a lot of people feel like one-on-one is the best, and quickly they realize that, when you're only getting input for your one situation, you miss out on, maybe there's a problem that you had that you didn't know you had, but you heard somebody else talk about it when they asked their question on a group call, and you're like, wow, I have that problem too, or that problem is happening and I didn't think to ask that. And then you learn. And so
totally.
a lot of people don't realize that, but so that's amazing. So you're getting results, you raise your prices, you're able to provide a better coaching service because you raised your prices.
Yeah, because I have more energy. I'm not overwhelmed by how my day is so long and I have to be on from morning to night. I can just be super on and serve wholeheartedly without being oh God, it's gonna be such a long day.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's a great feeling when you feel good in your business and you're making money. And and you're making good money, and obviously you're making good money. So let me ask you this. Why did you choose to work with us over any other program, any other coach, any other or course even, or whatever else is out there? Why did you choose specifically to work with me and my team?
People ask me this all the time, actually.
No, you're not on the spot or anything.
No, like no pressure. No, but the truth is that I love, first of all, I think you're an incredible teacher. There's a lot of things that even just consuming your free content, that is stuff that I'd heard, concepts that I've read and heard other people explain, but it didn't click for me. It stayed very like cerebral and not something that I really understood and would be able to like execute properly. That when I heard you explain the same thing, that I was like, oh, like now I get it and I can do it. And that happens, like, I mean, now I don't really consume very much other people's content, is the truth, because I get pretty much everything I need from a business perspective from you. But it used to happen all the time, like all these other ideas that I had heard that would just it wasn't penetrating me. So that's a huge thing, that it made it that everything that, you know, all the information I wanted to know, I actually could know. And the other thing was that I love that you're very transparent. Like I don't remember which webinar it was, one of yours that I watched, that you were like teaching a concept and then you're like, see, I just did it to you guys. Like you do that all the time. Like I just did it this way. I pre-framed you. I made you want it this way. And you're like, oh, you totally did. And so there's so much trust there of like, it never feels like you're pulling a fast one. You're just like, this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. This is why you feel this way now. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, and so, yeah, I mean, those were the two big things. And then just, you know, because of everything was making sense, I could implement it, and I right away started to see results. Like even at the very, very beginning of like just learning how to get people interested, like and I think that was probably just from your free content of like just started getting more clients from that, because I started to understand like the way that you need to frame something, the way that you need to put it out there so people can see the value, instead of like that it's about like whatever it's about, you have to think about what it's about for them. And so, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's fine. It makes sense. Yeah, I get it.
Stroke my ego a little more. Keep going.
But you know, I mean, it's sort of like the difference between buying if like, let's say you want to learn golf, right? You want to be a better golfer. It's sort of the difference between buying a Tiger Woods instructional DVD and going to an actual seminar where Tiger Woods is teaching. You know,
100%.
You're going to get value out of both, but which one is going to really elevate your golf game? Obviously, the seminar.
No comparison.
So that said, was there anything in particular, you know, working with my team to help grow your coaching offer, was there anything that made it, or that you feel made it extra effective?
Like what's their secret sauce type of stuff?
No, I'm not you know me, I'm not a secret sauce type of guy. I'm going to get you amazing at making the sauce type of guy. But was there, you know, in like the events that we hold, right? Mm-hmm. Was there anything in particular that you felt was effective about those that maybe is not something that you find elsewhere?
I mean, honestly, I feel like the whole thing is something that I haven't found elsewhere. There's nothing, I feel that like, for me, the magic of working with you has been that I feel like there's really, like, you hit it hard and nail it from both perspectives of the strategy and the mindset. And I feel that kind of every other person I've interacted with or benefited from, it's like one or the other. Like they get my head in a good space, but then like don't know how to like translate
practical,
that.
Right?
Yeah, like what do I actually do with like all my belief and motivation right now? Or like that's a really cool strategy, but like I don't know that I can really pull it off. I don't know that I really can. And I feel that working with your team and with you guys, like it's a constant up leveling in both places. Like that
makes sense. And I appreciate that, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, you have both sides, right? You have people that say, just give me the tactical. I don't need the mindset. Those are the people that have the worst mindset.
I don't know.
Yeah. They have the worst mindset. And that's why they are where they are, is because they're like, I don't know that. And then you have people who you know, they'll go to seminar after seminar, they'll feel good, but they won't actually learn anything that's actually going to make them any money or grow their business. It's just all this feel good, rah stuff. And there's no practicality to which to use that feeling with.
Right. Like, where do you channel that?
Right. Exactly. So I appreciate you pointing out that we cover both.
Totally. And so well. So well.
I appreciate that.
I have very high standards and needs for both, because I'm naturally a very, like, I was not born entrepreneurial or business minded. Like, I'm like an artist and a musician and a connector. And so all of the mindset stuff, like, always, like, I always gravitated towards that, but it never really did anything because, like, I couldn't, like, really hit the ground running with it. And, but I feel like you really, so, like, I need the practical so much, because now I've actually gotten really good comparatively, that, like, I actually do start to think like a business person, but I wasn't, like, born that way. And so, and that's, like, pretty much all you, that I've, like, learned to, like, think that way.
You know, it's funny you mentioned being an artist and a music. You know, I went to school for music, right? Like, that was what I did in my poor days when I was a musician and I was into art and stuff. And I can resonate with what you're saying, because I had to figure out how to take what I was good at and put it out there in a way that made sense for business and profit. Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, the purpose of a business is to turn a profit. Yes, it's to spread your message, and you can change the world through that, but you can't change the world if you have a negative P&L. You just can't, right?
Totally.
So you have to have profit, and to do that in an ethical way that resonates with your values, but still at the same time builds your business is very, very, very important, especially if you are an artist type. So that's awesome. So let's talk about the results here. First, let's talk about your business, and then let's talk about and just so everybody understands, were you selling when you were selling for a low price? Were you selling over the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you came in the program and we worked with you to get you good at high ticket selling, and not just high ticket selling, but get you good at the marketing that happens prior to the call, so that when people come in, that you don't really have to sell them. You just have to close them. They're already sold.
Totally.
And that's a big thing that people don't realize on sales calls is, if you're selling on the sales call, then you did something wrong in that content that they consumed prior. You should just be closing on the sales call.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you learn this, and once you were able to figure this out, and we worked with you to get you good at this, I know we talked about the results, $34,000 in 2 weeks, which is a huge spike. And that's since you really started hammering the high ticket.
Yeah.
And doing the proper core content and all that. Let me ask, how has that spike, how is that impact? And I know it just happened recently, so it's hard to, you know,
breathing through it. Yeah.
But how is this, like, how's this affecting your life? Like, how is this affecting how you feel and where you see the future?
Like, you're gonna make me cry. It's very liberating. So it's very liberating, obviously, practically, of, like, not freaking out about, I mean, I wasn't freaking out about finances for a while, but of feeling like the shackles are off, of, like, if I could do this, like, I can keep scaling, I can keep growing, I can keep getting better, I can keep, like, up leveling. And, like, and I love, one of the things you always say is, you're like, just get good at it. Like there's not a magic secret. Like, yes, there's a strategy, but, like, how about, like, one of the quotes I have here is, like, just learn to do it better. Like, stop asking me, just get better at it. Like, just do it 10 more times and get better at it.
But you still have to have a process in order to get, see, that's the thing.
Right, you have to know how to get better.
Right. People have this view, because of all these gurus out here peddling these $997, $500 courses, that there is a secret script, template, or sauce, or secret system that will make you millions. And that's just not true. There are systems out there that are more efficient than others. And, you know, as you know, we give you those systems, and every single, you know, 6
They're
months.
clutch.
What is it?
So they're clutch.
Right there. Yeah. But don't we always update them as we find better ways to do things?
100%.
Right. And that's the thing, is everybody's always, oh, it's the system. Well, yeah, it is the system, but you still have to do the system well. If I teach you how to do an arm bar in jiu-jitsu, just because I taught you how to do an arm bar doesn't mean you're going to be able to go to a competition and pull it off and actually hit somebody with it. You have to get better at it. So you must learn the actual technique, then you must learn how to get good at it. And it's not just doing it over and over, it's doing it over and over in a systematic way.
Getting feedback.
Right, which will get you fast, or will get you there fast. And so I always say, you know, we don't just teach you what to do and how to do it, we teach you how to do it well.
Totally.
So
that is totally true.
Are you planning on, I know that this just happened, but have you talked to your husband? Are you planning on anything for the future? I mean, and keep in mind, I get it, you're on track for $70K a month, but I don't see any reason why this month you can't hit 100. I would really like you to have a 6-figure month. You're going to, if it's not this month, you will have a 6-figure month, Shayna. What personal plans have you made? Are you going to buy a new car, a house, go on vacation, anything?
I mean, we're looking at houses. I mean, but honestly, it just feels really good to just feel like, wow, like I'm really getting on top of my game here. It's not just about like not freaking out. It's like, we still have some credit card debt, and like, we'll just pay that off. Like, we'll just do this, we'll finish that, we'll do like, and just be like super, and it's the biggest thing. Like my husband's like, he's like, dang, like, you know how to make it rain. I was like, ah, because when the system works and you get better at it, and like, it's a really powerful feeling to be feeling so aligned about it. Like, I love that the way you teach is always very clean. I'm like, well, like, meaning like whenever you're teaching, like one of the first things you said in one of the times you said, like, and all of this stuff is so important, like all the strategies, but like, you have to actually care about your students. You have to actually want them to succeed. You have to really be invested in that. And like, to me, like, obviously, but I love hearing it from you also, like that we're getting that whole thing, because it helps keep me really centered and grounded, and that I can fully invest myself in what I'm doing and not feel like, oh, but blah, blah, like, you know what I mean? Like, not feel internally torn.
Right. Right. Like you're not being, in other words, in order to have a successful, profitable, scalable business, you don't have to sacrifice your ethics and morals and do something 100%. Shady. You can actually build a multi-million-dollar business and have a great product at the same time. That's an amazing
thing. That serves better and gets my big mantra these days is like, a rising tide raises all ships. Like, the better that you get, and you can build your business that way, you can build your life that way, that as you rise, you're like lifting everyone else with you. But also like the little things of like, you know, my kid wants something, or a house that we're looking at, I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't like that the gate is like a chain link gate, because even though it's blocked, like, I don't like that people can see into the backyard if they're walking a certain angle. I just like, I'm like, oh, like, let's just like replace it. Let's just put like a wood one, so that like there's like more privacy, and not be like, is that going to cost? Is it worth it? Is it right time? It's like, no,
just buy it, right?
Just do it.
You know what's really funny? So, everybody has their thing that makes them go, wow, I made it. You know what my thing is? It's kind of weird. When I sit down at home and I am, because, you know, we've all been at home for a while watching a lot of movies, and I'm running out of movies to watch. So when I sit at home and I go on Amazon and I'm looking at movies to buy, or movies to watch, if there's a movie that I'm like, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, let me put it on for 10 minutes and see if I like it, but it's like $20 to buy on Amazon, I don't know, I just buy it and I don't care. And that's right. I know it's small, but it's just a weird thing to be so financially independent that you can just buy a $20 movie and watch 10 minutes of it, and by the time you've decided whether or not you want to watch it, you've already made that money back and then some.
Totally. Yeah. My version of that is like online shopping, which I like normally hate doing because I'm like, well, you don't know if it's going to fit and if it really looks like it does in the picture. And now I'm like, let me just get it. If I don't like it, I'll just give it away. Like, so yeah.
That's awesome.
Even if
That's
it's like
awesome. So you're, and you, I know that we're going to have some questions from this interview.
You know what else actually is a big thing?
Huh.
Is to not feel like, to feel more comfortable like giving to like the organizations that I want to give to, that I have wanted to give to for a long time, that I did, but not as much. And I always felt a little like, oh God, am I being irresponsible? Like it's something I really want to support, but like, is it smart for me to be like, is that really what I should be doing right now or not? And now feeling
instead of
like,
just doing it and not even
and being like I'm so happy to be able to do this and support something that I think is really important in the world that has, you know, either benefit me or my family or just in general is like a cause that I think is really great. That's also a really amazing feeling.
Cool. Awesome. So I know we're going to have this question because I always get asked this question on an interview. Everybody, and this is classic. Oh yeah, she made 34 grand in 2 weeks, but how much did she spend on ads? You know, everybody always says that because they just can't believe it's possible to make good money with a coaching or an info offer. So did you spend any money on ads for this?
It's all organic. I haven't even like opened Ads Manager. Like I haven't even like opened that part of the course.
And if you remember correctly, we did, you haven't even got to that yet. You haven't even needed it, but you've done all the organic. And that's the other thing, because people remember me when I first came out as the Facebook ad guy, because I had a popular Facebook ad course. And so they don't normally associate me or my company with organic methods, but it's funny because we give a ton of organic methods in the program. And a lot of you guys are making tons of money, just organic. And, you know, so that's 34 in 2 weeks with organic methods. And that's
it's like all profit. It's like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's like $50 off of, because like my email software, I sent out like one email. Like it's not, it's really all profit. It's just like me and Facebook on my cell phone. That's pretty much the whole thing. And Zoom. I had to buy like the upgraded Zoom.
Oh, what is that?
So
$40 a month? Oh,
no,
you poor thing.
maybe I was $12, I think.
Oh, well, see, that would have been it, man. If it was 40, that would have just ruined your whole business.
Ruined the whole thing. Cut me under.
Awesome. Well, Shane, I'll leave you with this. If anybody is considering, if you were speaking to someone that was considering coming on board and joining our programs or working with my team, and they were on the fence, what would you say to them?
I would say that they should consume more of your content, because the more that they do, like the more that you listen, the more that a person listens to you, the more that it just helps you transform as a person and become more brave and take action and become who you're trying to become. That's number one. And number two, I would say, like, if you want to do it and you're willing to do the work, like this program or whatever anyone that you're involved working with your team, like you can do it. And if you show up and you do your part, that you, meaning you, Dan, will show up and do the other part to help you get to the next level. If you come in, you have a good question, or you're stuck somewhere, you don't know what to do, and I've done my part of it, you always tell me the truth of what I need to hear to get to the next part. And so, like, just if you really want it, if you really want to become who you're trying to become or accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, like, what are you waiting for? That's what I would say.
I appreciate that. And I think some people are in a constant state of waiting, and they just want to wait. And, you know, Jack Ma it's a very long quote and I can't quote it, but because it's like literally like 500 word quote, but he talked about how you know, poor people are always in a constant state of waiting. And they always say they can't do it. They always say they always have excuses. And it's not that poor people do that. It's that mindset is what makes you poor. And so when you get out of that mindset, that's when you become wealthier, not just monetarily, but wealthier in your mindset, wealthier in your application to life. You know, I myself I did not build my company to where it is by not ever investing in myself or working with other people that were very, very, very good at things that I wanted to get good at. So, but that's what Shayna, that's what separates you from people who are just going to sit here, watch this interview and do the same thing tomorrow they did yesterday and go back to the same life, is that some people will decide to move forward and take action and some people will not. And that is the gap. That is the difference. And that's okay. Because if everybody did it, then it wouldn't be special. You know? So I appreciate you for taking the dive, and obviously it paid off. So thank you so much. And
I appreciate you for every dive that you've taken.
Well, we'll have to revisit when you hit your 6-figure month, and I'm sure that's going to happen before we can say lickety split. So awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thanks so much.